Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Mini, a true nerd, and welcome back to Stellaris MegaCorp, where the galaxy is pretty much divided up into three at this point. There is me, the Almet Syndicate, and my giant list of subsidiaries, most of which are also criminal syndicates, so we can't really do anything to each other, to be honest. We just kind of float around and make angry eyes at nearby empires. It's great. The mighty Shazarak-led Foundation, robots, Romans, Tabby, the Mighty Ducks, a few other people no one cares about, the Yonderim, their dicks, all of them together in one federation, which I created and then abandoned because I'm just not the Federation sort, and the Zelvan Arbitrators, the awakened Xenophile Fallen Empire, who seem to be struggling to rebuild their mighty fleets, to be honest, but they're just in the process of eating up the Earth robots. Not the Earth is 100% safe, but yeah, they're going to eat all the robots around that, unfortunately. Earth's going to be fine, though. When I say fine, Earth is slightly on fire. It's actually very on fire, to be honest. Yes, the Earth slightly caught fire. There's nothing there but a few scientists now and a crime wave. Meanwhile, yeah, everyone else just sort of fled to the Earth habitat. Because, you know what? Fair enough, I suppose. And at this point, it is 2575. The crisis is approaching. It's only a matter of time. My empire, I think, is actually in pretty good shape, all things considered. Food is going down slightly. I'm not selling any of that right now. That's fine. I can just put up a few extra farms somewhere or other. That shouldn't be a massive problem, to be honest. Food is easy to sort out. I can buy a small amount of it on the market if need be. But we've just had the check in the background of 2575. Because what the game is doing in the background is it's checking whether the crisis ought to start right now every 5 years. But as time goes by, it becomes more and more likely. And I believe that 2580, 80 years after the endgame stuff began at 2500, that is when it starts becoming even more likely still. That is the next step of a probability. So, in 5 years' time, it's very possible indeed that is going to be it. The Empire is in pretty good shape right now, all things considered. I might be able to do some minor tweaks, but mostly it is in good shape at this point. The fleets are in good positions, all things considered. There are about, 100,000 strength each, and there are quite a few of them. They're divided right now between, Disrupt Tech and Plasma Tech, because I don't know what crisis is coming. So half the fleet will pretty much be out of commission when whatever it is does show up, unfortunately. So we'll have to see how that goes. It also depends where it arrives. I've got pretty good coverage of the galaxy between the gateways, between the L gates. We should be able to respond relatively quickly to whatever it is. Hopefully, anyway. There are certain ways it could go a little bit on the wrong side, like if it ends up in a corner of the galaxy, which I can't get to because the Zelvan Arbitrators try and lock me out of it, and I might have to declare war on those bastards purely to actually cut through their space. We'll have to see. We'll have to see about that, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully it'll be alright. But at this point, it's just countdown to destruction, really. It's a matter of time until the crisis arrives. Important update on the Zelvans, though. They've built another gateway, because of course they did. Oh, and the Earth Custodian ship's completely dead too. The last planet has been officially locked away, so basically, a giant empire of sentient robots whose only desire is to collect bio-trophies and make them comfortable forever, has been locked behind a force field where they will never again see a single biological entity, and thus they have nothing to pamper. Okay, that's possibly the cruelest thing you could possibly have done, you xenophile bastards, but whatever, go for it. Conveniently though, that does actually mean all this space is up for grabs, so some of it will probably fall to the Zelvans, but they'll actually have to send over, construction ships to do it. Instead, actually, the Human Interstellar League might be able to grab some of this, so they actually have a decent chance of actually growing a bit for once. Also worthy of note though, does this mean the war in heaven is finally over? Because the Zelvan Arbitrators are kind of out of people to fight. I would have expected to see an announce about this, but no. No, it is actually over, and okay, bafflingly, a single empire in the galaxy has decided to actually make these guys their rivals, and it's the Quiramulan. These guys over here. Yeah, okay, that's interesting. There's a lot of empires a lot closer, but okay, fine, you go for it. Must say, however, the Zelvans just don't feel like they've got much going on here. They're just kind of stuck at about 20,000 fleet power, which is actually lower than New Rayab Limited, which is very, very unfortunate. But what we do have is the Spiritualists. The Spiritualists could still theoretically become the Guardians of the Galaxy and save us all. They're only floating about 250,000 strength right now, but that's not nothing. So I'm glad they never woke up and we never went to kill them, because honestly, there'll be more use where they are. Also, do not forget about the Zanak continuity. They won't wake up unless the actual crisis we're facing is the contingency, which would be nice because I've literally never seen that one, so that'd be fun. But if they do, they're not doing so bad. They've got maybe 350,000 strength or thereabouts. Very, very cool indeed. On the plus side, the Zervans have finally built a gateway that makes sense, which is, yeah, they've constructed one down here. So this bit of territory they've taken over in this part of space, which of course has... Actually, wait, I thought it had no planets on it at all, but... Bleep appears to be alive. How did you actually officially... Ah, you resettled it. Fine, I see. This place has been... Or it's been... No! You just decided to reappropriate this place. Got it. Maybe there were no defensive armies, so you've just decided to, straight up move in, kick off some of the locals, and, yeah, make it your own. Fine. I'm beginning to think that this game may need a bit of rebalancing when it comes to influence in the late game, because I can't help but notice that right now I am floating, 1,000 influence, plus 9 influence a month thanks to Will to Power, which I can very easily keep on because even though I'm not even going for a Unity heavy build, I've just got so much Unity coming in, it's ridiculous. I have literally every influence powered edict on simultaneously. All of them. Even the ones I don't need, like Map the Stars. I just turned all of them on and I'm still at cap. And this is not actually an influence heavy build at all. It's not, because I'm not egalitarian. So, yeah, I really feel like Paradox needs to have a rethink about what exactly influence is supposed to be doing in the late game, because right now I've got literally everything I can have on, and I'm still at cap. Okay, now they're at peace. The Zelvans are doing a slightly better job with the rebuilding. They're up to 36,000. Not spectacular, but still enough to be helpful, potentially. And just like I hoped, yeah, the humans of Earth have successfully managed to seize a very decent amount of that territory. Very, very good indeed. By any chance, has that given you the money to actually, fix up Earth? And, oh, we don't know. I don't know. I can't see what's going on Earth. Unless I establish a branch office, which, screw it, why not? At least it gives me visibility as to what the hell's going on over on Earth. And the answer is, no, it's still very on fire. On the plus side, yeah, there's still corrupt drones pretending to be humans for some reason, and crime is not terrible, really. How's the trade? Pretty damn low, because, yeah, the planet is just in ruins. They can't afford to rebuild. Though on the plus side, if they can't afford to rebuild, hopefully that means they can't afford to actually, build a police station. So, for once, I might actually get to keep this one. So, ooh, what do we want? What do we want? What do we want? Let's go for a nice basic... Yeah, Smuggler's Port. Just to keep crime nice and high. Lovely. Then again, they do have the problem that, yeah, they don't have enough amenities. I think I can actually sort that out for them. Yeah, that Smuggler's Port will produce a merchant job, which will actually create trade value and amenities. I am being helpful right now. Also, that's cute, I didn't know that. So not only can the Earth now declare war in order to kick our branch office off, but other megacorps inside Earth's Federation are allowed to go to war with me in order to take the branch office into their own possession. That's really cute, I like that. Okay, we do have some rather major bad news though. The Shazarak have made the decision to close the borders. Because, hang on, how do they feel about me right now? -41 is not even that terrible, all things considered. This is not good news. This is not good news at all. Because now, if, say, the crisis shows up over here, I won't be able to access it without declaring war on the Federation, which I can't do because while I could totally beat them, 1, I don't want to, and 2, I'd constantly be hit by guerrilla raids across the entire Empire. It would be a nightmare to keep track of. Luckily, that's just the Shazarak for now, but I thought I was actually already an associate member of your Federation. Shouldn't that, count for something? I see. I think I might have actually lost my Federation Associate status due to a maths error, because relative power of empires is now minus 113,430, which feels like an oddly specific number. So I feel like some form of overflow or something error is going on there, and I've been kicked out of associate status, and that's gonna potentially screw me over. Luckily, most people are not minding me as much as the Shazarak do. The Shazarak are mostly just annoyed because of the border tension, and also presumably threats? No, they don't feel any threats, but border friction's minus 56. However, give it enough time, and we're talking quite a few years away, they will actually come round. Okay, this could be a bit of a problem. Just as long as the endgame crisis doesn't hit over here, because if so, they'll have a chance to gain a foothold before I can actually get over to them. Oh, but the Science Nexus hub is in place. Oh yeah, let's get some flippin' science going on, lads. Here we go. Oh, it's horrendously ugly. It's got a spinning thing in the middle. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to do, but screw it. Let's add... Oh, that's going to be better. We'll add some more ugly stuff onto the side of it. Spot on. Oh, that's nice. 100 physics, 100 sociology, and 100 engineering right there, and that is just going to keep going up and up and up. Flippin' love it. Oh, but some spectacularly good news. Who's a good cat? It's Tabby. Tabby is the best cat because Tabby has decided to invite me back to being an associate member of the League. Absolutely spot on. Which I'm hoping might help bring the Shazarak around. Let's just let the month tick over. Just so any effect that's new actually takes effect. Because sometimes it takes to the end of the month to do so. They're still not desperately keen. Apparently that doesn't have a direct impact on opinion. But, at the bare minimum, I do pick up Federation Associate status. I'm not really sure what that does, but it feels like a good sort of thing to do to make sure that most of this Federation doesn't at any point decide to lock their doors on me as well. As I'm making such a profit, I've decided to actually, go significantly over fleet capacity. And one thing I'm building just in case I need it is the new shield murder. This is going to be a force exclusively made up of destroyers, because I've actually set up my destroyers in a bit of a new way. So I've moved over to the artillery bows. They've actually got a neutron launcher on the front, which is pretty darn cool. So they can actually hit hard and at very long range. But moving over to the picket ship's stern, that means I've actually got, 2 separate Guardian point defenses on this ship. Very, very nice indeed. And with the assistance of the enigmatic encoder, this is a destroyer with evasion of 66%, which is pretty decent, I'd say. Yeah, combined with 925 shields, 800 hit points. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. This thing, of course, isn't really supposed to be doing damage. It's just supposed to be acting as a massive, great wall of point defense. So if I go up against anything that's got loads of, missiles or whatever, they'll be able to do a good job against that. Also, just as some minor optimizations across the Empire, I'm taking down some old buildings that I probably don't need anymore. Like hospitals, because I don't really need, growth speed right now. So 25% growth speed and 25 amenities, that's pretty much useless to me. I get all the amenities I need through trade and all the many, many clerk jobs. So I may as well tear down all of my hospitals, together with all my operas, entertainment complexes, literally everything, just to put up more of whatever these are, just like office buildings. Basically, tear down all the hospitals, more office buildings, more Starbucks. And another bloody machine uprising. Now this is odd. This is getting weirdly common. In fact, I'm starting to suspect I might be somehow responsible for this, because I've spread my ethics across the galaxy into all the new republics I created. These guys, I think, didn't used to have robots. But I suspect, because they're now my subsidiaries, and I kind of forced them to follow my lead, and I gave them all research agreements and all of that business, I'm beginning to suspect that what actually happened here is they're now all building robots. Except, unlike me, they haven't given them all right, so the robots are all rising up and generally it's all going a bit geth. Right, nothing too dramatic here, mix of shields and armor. Interestingly, the armor's much better than the shielding, so we just deploy a basic plasma fleet, go and smash them. And conveniently, there's a gateway right there, so we will be there in just a handful of jumps, no problem at all. And of course, they've got themselves a planet too, because I believe they're guaranteed to always spawn. And yeah, I believe the population has probably been... Actually, no, where's the population? Hang on. Yes, they are indeed stuck inside batteries right now, being slowly consumed. But luckily, not that many of them. This was actually a small colony. This will be nice and easy to take care of. Alright, they've taken one platform already, but we can just take that straight flipping back, melted, straight through. They're already down to a single system. This is a very small AI uprising. And in fact, now we can knock out, yep, some of their main fleets together with pretty much their only platform as far as I am aware, which is spot on. And, okay, they've tried to welcome the bloody Omni-Grid AI uprising into the League of Non-Aligned Nations, or whatever. We'll just murder these guys nice and quickly. As soon as we get nice and close, they've got the range, but as soon as we're up there, corvettes are actually a decent answer to battleships, because, yeah, we've got the evasion, and their large weapons are just too slow to deal with me. We will take a couple of light knocks, but, oh, that's a pretty battle, though, happening in front of the sun. I do rather appreciate that, yes. So, that force is just being knocked out of the sky. Should not take too long at all. Now, while we were taking care of that, one of their other fleets has just headed north to actually, yeah, take over some of this territory. That's fine. We'll chase them down, not least as they have just cornered themselves. So at this point, we've got them in a corner. Nothing they can do, meaning it's now safe for me to deploy my fleet to go and knock out their one and only planet. And I think they've realised they're in trouble. They're actually fleeing from this system without taking it, but... yeah, they're trying to get away. I think they're going to try and make it over to Tiakia, but it's too late. They have been caught out of position, and now their one remaining fleet will be absolutely shredded together with their armies. Lovely. Also, because there's a war going on right now, everyone appears to have shown up to Ospra to help out. There's a lot of... oh, there's a lot of ships here. There's a lot of very different ships. It's all very visually busy. I'm guessing that's because technically there is a war on, so therefore you're trying to follow whichever of my fleets is actually set to be followed, even though it wasn't the one that was actually... hang on, who's the one that's actually set to be followed? Is it Grand Murder? Yes, you're all trying to follow the Grand Murder. Well done for showing up. Alright, good loyalty. Possibly you did not go to the right place, mind. This is actually a very good opportunity for me to actually check who owns what right now, because well done to the archives. Nearly 100,000 strength there. Oh, those guys have most definitely been worth keeping free and independent, because, yeah, the resources in the archives, I would never have been able to convert that into 100,000 fleet capacity, but they have. Also, well done Cornwall for showing up with just 500, 2 destroyers. It's not much, but it's the thought that counts. And the Omni-Grid has been very, very easily knocked down. Job flipping done. Also, lots of respect to New Rayab Limited, up to nearly 40,000. They are very much contributing to the war when it happens. Decent loadout too. They've clearly got access to pretty much all of our technology. In fact, possibly when you create a subsidiary, it automatically has all of your tech? I think that's the case, in which case, yeah, that would explain why they've got all of this. So, they have got some very, very good quality ships going on there. In fact, I know that's true, because this is literally a Plasma Bloodbath class battleship, which is exactly the name of my ship. So, they not only get my tech, they're actually given all of my ship designs by default. Oh, and better, the Shazarak are coming around. They've decided to open the borders. How do they feel about me right now? Minus 39. Not keen, but they don't hate me enough to lock me out either. Speaking of the Shazarak, they have a fascinating little homeworld here. So, a machine capital, originally a tundra world, but it looks like they've converted it into a great big machine world, which is just flipping lovely. But yeah, stability is at 0%, deviancy is at 100%, and apparently they just don't really have the money to be building in any of these slots. I mean, they do literally have 3 different sentinel posts, which is apparently the equivalent of a police station for a robot, but yeah, they're just not doing the job, unfortunately. Also, were we aware that the Shazarak actually were keeping 200 different organics as batteries to power themselves? Because I didn't know we were aware of that, and I feel less warm towards the Shazarak now I know that is actually the case. I've also realised I can just basically start using branch officers as a way to spy on the actual Federation I don't actually have visibility of right now, which could be very, very useful indeed. And even better, these days, capital worlds are actually good targets to snipe. Because these places are already filled up, there's no new building slots, and I'm not sure the AI is going to be clever enough to demolish an existing building to build a police station. So Repose, the tabby capital, doesn't actually have a single police station on it, but the population is over 100. Now this is of interest. So let's get crime nice and high here. Smuggler's Port to actually boost the value of the branch office, because that's already plus 34, because this place has got a decent volume of trade. That's pretty decent. We'll take the Syndicate Front Corporations after that, because unity is always welcome. Don't forget I can actually set up an executive retreat on the Tabby homeworld, so we can all basically just go and chill out and pet Tabby, which is marvellous, so we might do that, but not quite immediately. The priority is to get the crime nice and high, so that we actually make sure we don't lose this place. Free Pirate Haven is, naval capacity up for these guys, which is actually quite useful. What else do we have here? There's dance clubs. We could make Tabby dance. Yeah, screw it. Let's get some dance clubs. We do like putting down a dance club. Start on those 3, and we'll see how that goes. Hang on. How many other capital worlds where the AI will be too stupid, hopefully, to build any police stations are there? Because this could potentially be of interest. Oh yeah, Duckburg's just the same. Okay, new mission in life. I just want to have branch officers on all my own previous empires. So we've got Tabby down. Duckburg looks like it's going to be an easy one too, which is flipping spot on. And those are both commercial zones. The trade here is not so high, but no police stations. And high enough population, I can immediately throw down all of my flipping buildings. So do the same thing again, just prioritize getting the crime up. Now, Shazarek are robots, so you can't have a branch office there. Pax Romana, what's your capital right now? Because technically, it's not Vesta. Because, yeah, Rome was briefly not in your possession, so you never actually made it yours again. Tragically, although, oh dear. Yes, Rome's been a bit trash. Right, where's your capital now? It's Pacon, apparently. So, how good is this place? It doesn't look great. It looks tiny to me, and the Havel are already there. Okay, let's see where the best place to potentially get this down is. And ideally, I'd be looking for, high trade value on the map here. Because high trade value is what I want to be leeching off. It looks like it might be Mardom up here. Ah, that's split between 2 worlds. Okay, what about this one over here? This is... it's a small world again. To be honest, I may as well just have Rome. Especially as crime here is already at 63% and it's experiencing, a bit of a criminal underworld crime wave thing. So get that underway. Spot on. It's not the biggest planet, to be honest, but there's still enough for me to put down a couple of things. All the empires in the south, however, that's not going to fly because, the Yonderim are already being picked off by the mega church over here, the Havel Golden Foundation, or by the Sin Trade Commission. So we're only going to be able to lock down these 3 at the north. But it would be nice if I could actually get myself a handful of flipping branch officers down. One on all of the previous capitals of all of my previous empires. That would just be lovely. Oh, the Science Nexus has its research wings. Oh, let's go see it. Let's go flipping see it. Oh, yeah, it's still horrendously ugly and blocky, to be honest, but maybe if we, add more wings onto the wings, that'd be better. Yeah, more additional sticky outy bits. That's where the science happens. Oh no, here's something interesting. The Zelvans are going around trying to get people to sign their bloody space UN treaty again. And a tiny breakaway state, the Farine Trade Association, not mine, my guys are up here, have agreed to sign it. So these guys have a vassal again. And slowly but surely they are starting to hate me a bit less. That threat level is always going to be a problem, but at the bare minimum, give it a few years, they will calm down a little bit. Oh, and Wings of Indigo, our general died. Our one and only general. Oh, he did a lot for us. He led a lot of flipping invasions. Oh, you will be missed, you magnificent bastards. Now, this is interesting. New General Wings of Red. So, army damage up 5% and disengagement chance up 10% on account of Erudite. And restrained, a further 20% disengagement chance. So, we're much less likely to lose our armies. They will pull back to safety if damaged. And less collateral damage, which is the strategy we're going for. And we still get plus 5% damage. Screw it. Welcome aboard. The problem we've got, however, is because there's been a bit of a gap between the war in heaven and the endgame crisis, some of my admirals have just passed away of old age, so several of my fleets, my armies, all the rest of it, are now being led by level 1 admirals and generals. Which means, yeah, my fleet is not as powerful as it might be. Oh, the buildings are finishing up in the new branch officers. So, Duckburg has won 100% crime, which is just flipping beautiful, and no sign of any new police stations being built. Lovely. Either they can't afford it, or they don't know how to tear down buildings in order to actually build a police station. They just don't want to do that, which is spot on. So yeah, we're actually making a decent level of energy here, together with a bit of unity as well. And we've still got an empty slot too. May as well have some illicit research labs here, I guess. Why not? I believe the actual Mighty Ducks were pretty darn scientific, so that works for me. And as for oppose, they're already at... Actually, they're only at 74% crime. Interesting. So it could be higher. But I wouldn't mind having an executive retreat here. That's amenities plus 10% for me, plus 5% trade for you. And trade here is... decent. Yeah, go on. We're going to have an executive retreat here, so we can all come and we can actually pet Tabby, because that will be the most relaxing thing of all. But Tabby is not really much of a dancer, so I'm going to replace the actual dance club, which I think she'd find a bit loud and frightening, with some illicit research labs, where we can research new food and treats to give to Tabby, and also there's going to be more science in general. And we've also finished the construction of the Devon Gateway, meaning that none of my planets are actually now sending their trade along basic routes, with the exception of the Beast, which does have to ship its trade as far as Foundation. So I guess I could just slap down another one right there, because at that point, yeah, the only trade that would be being transmitted along the space lanes would just be passing trade we're picking off random systems, like, say, Coggan, over here. And there's a little bit up here, actually. There's a tiny bit of piracy. Yeah, go on, why not? We've got the flippin' money for it. You, get over here. Let's actually get ourselves a brand new gateway set up at the Beast. There we go. Rome at 100% crime, generating not much money. Repose only 93% crime, but there is now, oh dear, significant substance abuse. Ah, Tabby, you've got to stop doing the catnip. It's fine in small quantities, but you might be going too far. So, yep, Duckburg, meanwhile, 100%. No criminal underground here officially yet, so no actual criminals, but we are getting some good amounts of science and unity out of that, and Earth is still pretty much on fire. In fact, the population, every time it goes up, seems to just go straight back down again. So I think anyone who lives on Earth immediately flees to some of the many habitats that Earth has built nearby within the solar system. So, yeah, not sure we're ever going to get those guys up to 50. Still, I am now glad that we do have eyes on every single one of our former empires. That's lovely. Here's fun as well. Previously, we haven't had a chance to see what ring worlds do in 2.2. I haven't got around to building one yet. But thankfully, the Shazarak appear to have invested quite a lot of money in bringing the old ruined one. Yeah, we let them have just the south of their extension over here, very close by to Zikmok territory, in fact. Yeah, they've actually rebuilt this, so we actually get a bit of a look-see at it. So, observations. Ring worlds are flipping massive, as it turns out, with flipping 50 districts per area, so 200 total, which is an awful lot. And only 3 types of districts they're allowed to build, though bear in mind, this is actually a robot, so it might be different for me. So, Nexus District, effectively the housing one, presumably producing clerk jobs for me, though it varies ethos to ethos. And then the Generator District for producing energy credits. That is... actually, it's only +2/+2. Fine, so compared to the districts of a city planet, it's actually very little. In fact, it's just a standard Generator District or an agricultural district. So basically, this is just like a massive size 200 Gaia world. Okay, that's kind of fun, except you can't mine it, obviously, because to mine it, we'd have actually had to bury the resources in order to mine them up, which would definitely have been an odd thing for us to do. So, yeah, that's very cool, actually. In fact, hang on, let's do some maths here. So over on Prosperity, which is one of my generator worlds, of course, I've got some relatively well set up technicians. So, what does a standard technician actually do? Fine, a technician produces 12-ish energy by themselves. So, okay, let's just say for the sake of easy maths, the 2 technicians, i.e. a single generator district, that's worth 25 energy or so. So in theory, if you were just to build a ring world and then fill it up with generator districts, that would be an insane amount of power. In fact, why would you ever build a Dyson sphere when you could just build a ring world and then just put generator districts on it? Especially as ring worlds actually seem to be pretty cheap, all things considered. So yeah, just put the base down, then another 10,000 and 10,000, then you're actually done in 4,800 days, then 3,600. Whereas Dyson Sphere, that's 5,000, then 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000. That ultimately produces 1,200 energy. But if you can get 24 out of a single generator district, and a ring world comes with like flipping 200 of them, fine, you'll have to have some city districts down too, just to have the housing to support the people working in the generator districts. But on top of that, you've got like so many building spots, because that's 25 times 4, so 100 building spots as well. Oh yeah, ring worlds actually might be good now, which is brilliant because they used to be terrible. Just mathematically, they made no sense to build next to habitats. Habitats have been depowered quite a bit, which is definitely worthwhile. But yeah, just in terms of being ridiculous energy or food producers, yeah, ring worlds might actually be worth having a look-see at these days. Though, it does kind of feel like they've rendered Dyson spheres completely obsolete. I'll flip, here we go, and I think that's not the Unbidden. I don't know, but I think that's the Scourge. Several of our tracking stations have picked up peculiar subspace echoes coming from somewhere in intergalactic space. The echoes are faint, but getting stronger. They seem to be approaching our galaxy. A storm is on the horizon. Yes, I think that's actually not the Unbidden. We've got not the Unbidden. I'm so bloody happy. Okay, coming storm. Mysterious cluster of subspace contacts has appeared to be on approach vector with our galaxy. Now, this works for me, because I'm safe and tucked away in the middle. If they're coming from dark space, you know, like the Reapers of Mass Effect, that means they hit the borders first, not me. So this is good news. We don't actually know where they are yet, but okay, they'll probably be showing up pretty soon if I've been warned. Gotcha. So I'm going to need to get eyes on the first ones that arrive before I know what I need to actually do. But I feel like, yeah, between the Disruptor fleet and the Plasma fleet, I should have plenty enough to be able to fight whatever shows up first. And also, the Beast has been connected to the network too. So at this point, oh, look at that. Look at all of that trade arriving via Gateway. That's just so sexy right there. And tragically so far, yeah, the curators can't tell me anything about any of that. No. Fine. So they don't know about the subspace echoes. Possibly when the creatures do arrive, they will be able to tell me something. Here we go. The strange subspace echoes we detected in intergalactic space are now approaching the outer rim of the galaxy. Several small contacts appear to be racing ahead of the main body of echoes towards a number of rim systems. We've identified the positions of these systems in the situation log and will continue to monitor the situation. They are almost upon us. So now we're going to figure out where the actual breach point for the invasion is. So track them on the map and, oh, it's going to be worryingly close by to me. But in some ways, that's good. It's very bad for the Vandari. Oh, guys, I'm really sorry about this, but you are in a lot of trouble. Right, okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to deploy my science vessel over to this part of the world. I am not deploying my fleet until I have confirmation as to what the hell is actually going on here, what we're facing. So this sounds like it's actually going to work. So, oh, here we go. Yes, we know something's coming. That's absolutely fine. Hello there. Right, so it's the Zerg Reapers. And unfortunately, we can't communicate with them. I think if you're psionic or a hive mind, you can. Not in any meaningful way. It just provides a bit of extra lore. Like, they say they're running from something they call the Hunters, which does imply at some point in the future, there might be DLC where something even worse follows these bastards, which is just flipping perfect. But for the time being, they want to come and eat us. So, do we actually have a contact as yet? The first wave, here we go. They've started to show up. So, we've received word that several outlying systems along the galactic rim are being overrun by some sort of invasion force. This appears to have been the source of the subspace echoes. It was, you know, you bloody geniuses. And what we've encountered now is only the vanguard. The main force has yet to arrive. Reports so far have been confused, but the ships used by these invaders appear to be organic in nature and do not respond to hails. Our entire galaxy may be facing an invasion of unprecedented scope. Fascinating alien life from beyond our galaxy. Apparently, we're just flipping thrilled with all of this. So, let's just get nice and close by to them, and they've just... Okay, they've just knocked out that system. Can we see what's going on precisely? Which is... Okay, what are you doing? So you basically, yeah, you kill the system you're actually in, you destroy everything in it, and then you send a little... Ooh! You're adorable. You send a little shelly worm thing to actually put up one of these things. So basically, they construct their own star bases. Okay, that's nice. Also, the science nexus has been completed. This is a big day in history for our kind. I'm going to be honest, that's probably not what history that records this exact year is going to be focusing on, but you say what you will. I'm not going to take that away from the builders. So, building those star bases right there. So, okay, so he just basically gets on with building that. But they've already got one base over here. And what are they actually planning to do with it? So here we go. They've got... Ooh, it's very organic. I like it. So it's got 21,000 health, which honestly isn't that much at all. Lovely. And then, okay, so they're just basically going to expand like that. So are we technically at war right now? I don't actually know for certain. And is anyone else planning to respond? No, no one else is actually responding. How about the Valdari fleets? They've decided they can't be bothered. Okay. Are you guys seriously not going to do anything? You're not going to do a thing at all? Okay, they're just... Oh, now they are, Okay, I want to see how my vassals do. Alright, I'm just kind of curious what my vassals are going to do here. So, yeah, the Valdari are actually deploying about 20,000 strength against these bastards right over here. Let's have a little look, see what you've got. So, 40,000 apiece, but we know this is just the introductory vanguard. We know this isn't the real deal. So, 41,000 there. What can we actually learn about this? So, okay, Prethron Swarmling. That's just a little one. What else do we actually have here? Swarmlings. Actually, it's loads of swarmlings. Right, okay, so this is nothing but the babies. So, what do you guys actually do? You seem to be quite small. You have a biodrive, biosensors, large scourge missile. Right, they're depending on missile technology. So, shield murder will be extremely useful for actually shooting these bastards down. And what else do we know about them? They've got the ability to heal relatively quickly, and they come with armor and hull, no shielding. So, we want laser and plasma weaponry. So, the plasma fleets can totally potentially get involved right here. But yeah, I'm just kind of curious how my own vassals are going to do. I'm not in a hurry. Here. This is fine. And they've got... Ooh, okay. They do seem to spawn more fleets relatively fast here. That's certainly true. But go on, Valdari. You show me what you're made of. You're going to be destroyed, aren't you? You're probably going to be destroyed. But I'd like to see a battle before I actually commit my own forces. And also, in addition, I need to change over all the designs. We need to actually get working on this. Because now my disruptor fleets are not actually going to be that useful. So, okay. Redeploy the disruptor fleets to various star bases and begin rebuilding. Murder of Ganvius moves to Prosperity. Grand Murder moves to Terminal Egress. Rapid Response is already taking care of this part of space, just in case. Deploy them to the core. That will be absolutely flipping fine. Oh, wait, hang on. Slight problem as I quickly redesign all of my different fleets. Missile systems. Missile systems completely bypass shields, don't they? No, they don't bypass, but it is... Oh, okay, it varies. So they've got an acid blast, which is bonus shield damage, or, yeah, missiles that has total shield penetration together with bonus armor and hull damage. So I need to move my fleet over to an armor footing as soon as possible, because they can heavily damage and also bypass my shields. So, if I want to destroy these guys, that's going to be what I need to do. That's what all the fleets henceforth need to be set up for. So, goodbye shields, hello armor. Ooh, other thing as well. Now that we have it confirmed beyond any shadow of a doubt it's not the Unbidden, that means it is completely safe for me to... No, not that. I just want you to change your research. Jump drives, which will be done in a single month, okay? So, next month, we can actually have jump drives, slap them on all the new ships. We can go over to jump drive technology. That is now safe, because the Unbidden cannot show up if the Scourge have. There we go. Jump drives are standard. Lovely. Okay, the Disruptor fleets have now been sent off to various shipyards to be upgraded into the new model. Heavy on the armor, heavy on the plasma, basically designed to be able to deal with these bastards. The existing plasma fleets are relatively well set up, not spectacularly well set up, but we should be able to hold the line regardless. Science vessel, you just get out of here if you'd be so kind. Meanwhile, I'm going to deploy some of my plasma fleets just to try and hold these guys back. So, first plasma moves over in this direction. Last plasma can join them, and shield murder goes too. Shield murder especially is not desperately well set up, but it's got the point defense to shoot down the missiles. So those three forces together should be able to handle this. Other things we can do, hang on, over to edicts if you'd be so kind. I've got all of these little bonuses I can give to myself. So, yeah, increase my sensor ranges. Give me a shield boost, that's pointless. Give me faster movement if you'd be so kind. And give me more powerful lasers. And that's going to last for flipping 22 years because of the various tech I've taken to boost the length of edicts, which is pretty darn nice if I do say so myself. Right, other forces. You... yeah, just start upgrading yourself, please. This is going to take a while, but right now, these forces would be garbage at facing the Scourge. Now, there should also be a major battle going on here. Let's just see how these guys do. So, it is... Oh, that's not looking good, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, their missiles hit very, very hard indeed. And what have you guys got? Actually, you know what? I have been sharing laser and plasma tech with the entire galaxy. So actually, these guys are probably going to be very, very heavily favouring no disruptors. Plasma 2, though, and laser 4. That'll do as a starting point. So, the Valdari won't win this one, you magnificent brave bastards giving it a go. Well done for being the first to try. But they will do some... Actually, they might win. Okay, that's interesting. It looks like they've actually got them on the run there. Yeah, well flipping done. Oh my goodness, the first victory does not go to me. The first victory goes to the flipping Valdari. Alright, well done, lads. And here we go, larger and larger fleets are starting to arrive here. That's an 82,000 now showing up. Now, is that anything larger, or is it basically the same thing? Void Hunter, sublight speed up, fine, unique thing for them, they can move fast. No, it's basically the same thing, it's just nothing but these small swarm things. So the initial group is nothing but the babies. The big ones haven't shown up yet. Now, as I was saying a second ago, yeah, one more thing I can do as well. I'd like to hire a leader, please. Give me a good quality admiral. How many am I allowed to have? Like, if I just, like, keep doing this, how many admirals am I buying right now? Are you sending me an admiral every single time? Oh, flip, you are as well. Okay, so they all start off at level 3 with Mercenary Warrior, which is evasion and ship fire rate, which is actually really nice. You know what? I'll just very happily keep these guys floating around. Because right now, yeah, Last Plasma's being run by a level 1 guy who's an engineer. Not exactly very exciting. So instead, let's actually just hire a bunch of flippin' admirals to do the job. And you know what? My plan actually seems to have sort of worked here. Because guess who's shown up immediately? It's the flipping Rapid Strike Fleet of the Zelvans. I tell you what, I'm just going to hold position. I'm now just kind of curious whether the AI could defeat the Crisis by itself. Because... they are showing up with a decent level of strength here. Oh no, this is interesting. Something new I haven't really seen before. Infestors are now showing up. Hello, what are you guys? So that's basically like colony ships. Gotcha. So I'm guessing this is how you go and... Oh, what's this over here? Oh, we don't know what that is because technically it doesn't belong to anybody right now because the system was knocked out and belongs to an alien that can't actually hold a station, but the station was never destroyed. So the station is just going to slowly lose health until it falls into disrepair and explodes. Gotcha. And the Valdari are getting straight back in there, but this time it's not going to fly, I don't think. Though, hang on. We might actually have a fight here between... Is that? Yeah, that's a flippin' Fallen Empire. They are getting right in there with 90,000 strength. And they are just going to tear this apart. Right, I'm going home. I'm just going to actually go home, in fact, because I feel like the Zelvans are going to do this for me. I've laid the groundwork, damn it. I'm perfectly happy to let the Zelvans do the heavy lifting. You see, now this is what I wanted to flipping see these bastards doing. Going around, being helpful. That's the Xenophile way. Meanwhile, the 80,000 fleet, the strongest one they've got, that's now heading into Valdari territory. So that's probably going to be able to actually knock them over at this point. They're attacking with, yeah, partially shield bypass and partially missiles. Yeah, you can see it bypassing the shields right there. And then once the shields down, which go down very, very quickly indeed, sadly, Valdari are being taken care of. Oh, guys, I'm sorry, but I'm just kind of curious how well the Zelvins are going to do. Whether the Fallen Empire that I have been at war with is potentially capable of winning this by itself. Because the Zelvins at this point, they've got 90,000 strength. They've responded immediately. They've jumped right into being the Guardians of the Galaxy. They've blown this up. In fact, are they about to win? Could they be about to win by their flipping selves? I mean, in they come. So their fleet's arrived. They're just going to start bombarding giant piles of, yep, the infestors have been taken out. And now they can just take down this. So at which point, will that be the end of the invasion? Because that's your last system. That's your last system right here. I think they're panicking. They're sending their forces back. But it's going to be too late. What actually happens at that point? Well, this is technically just the Vanguard, of course, so there will be more coming, I assume, anyway. Well, they've lost their entry point, but the war is not over. What, however, has happened is, they've just basically invented more infestors. Fine, they just get to basically pull more constructed infestors out of their arse. Or probably, like, not their arse, probably, like, other stuff, because, you know, they're organics, they're probably, like, giving birth to them. Got it. What has, however, happened is, have you managed to actually catch the... Oh, you almost caught the Death Star out of position. There's 80,000 floating around right there, and I think they're going to try and take down the Zelvins, but the Zelvins are probably going to win. Right now, there's 80,000 over here, and they don't seem to be doing much aside from healing up, because, yeah, they've got healing. There's a big battle going on over here. The Zelvins have actually come to take these guys out. So who wins this particular fight? Because I believe the Zelvins... Have you actually got yourselves... Hang on. Let me see this fight here. You guys use... No, you're using Gauss cannons and artillery. So technically you're not very well set up for this, because Guardian defense is also not very good against armor. So the Death Stars are just panicking. Those guys are just panicking. So, technically, the advantage probably does lie with these guys, because they can also bypass shields, which, yeah, the Zelvin are kind of dependent on. But it does feel like the Zelvins have got the advantage right now. They've probably got the tech advantage. So, okay. It feels like this invasion is rapidly running out of steam, but this was just the initial approach. So, I'm kind of glad, actually. I'm kind of glad that this has happened. Also, hang on, where are my forces? We're no longer able to discern the main body of the approaching subspace echoes from our galaxy's background radiation. They have arrived. Oh, hang on. Where? Could they arrive somewhere else? Are they arriving into the same spot? They've arrived into the... that's more flippin' like it. That's more flippin' like it. Okay, so now the Zelvins are boned. Now the Zelvins are super boned. Got it. Okay, so that was just the introduction. That's a shame. It looked like actually there was a chance those guys might be able to win by themselves. So my forces are currently floating around up here. We should be able to handle this. Okay, objective number 1, relieve the Valdari. There's only 80,000 down over there. These forces should be able to handle this. How are the upgrades going, by the way? 10%. Not great, unfortunately. Upgrading is slow. Okay, there are 3 more plasma-enabled fleets, which together should have enough firepower to hold these guys back while we're doing the retrofits. So, second patrol, that is plasma enabled. Murder of Plasma is a general plasma fleet, and Grand Plasma, you guys head up here because you're general fleets. Everything else, I believe, is... Yeah, everything else uses lightning, point defense, all the rest of it. Not necessarily that useful to me. So, 6 plasma fleets are now on the way down south, which is fine. We should be able to hold them back while we actually retrain the rest of our forces to handle this. And actually, guys, you know what? If you can, upgrade, how much is that going to cost? 11,000, and First Murder, 10,000. Fine, get it done. So all those fleets are being actually upgraded right now. Patrol Murder is just keeping the trade under control. We've got ourselves... That's 80,000 right there. Where are you guys going? And by the way, I don't think you can jump. Yeah, we should be fine. They're healing up rapidly. I think we should be able to... Uh-oh, hang on. There's... Oh, no. Wait, guys. Guys. Stick together. Seriously, stick together. Do not get ahead of Last Plasma right now. If we're going to take these guys on, it needs to be as part of a big group. Now, what are they actually planning to do? They're going to knock down this platform. Then are you going for Emery's Emerald by any chance? Because for the time being, yeah, this planet is safe. It doesn't seem to have been taken over or whatever it is these guys do precisely. So, okay, where are you going? Oh, you're going north. Good. If they want to come north, that works for me. Okay, so probably I want everyone to actually join upon me. So, First Plasma, Shield Murder. Yeah, here we go. First Plasma is now my point. Do not follow Grand Murder. Follow First Plasma instead. So, Shield Murder and First, you guys get over here if you'd be so kind. Last, stay behind them, but be ready to hit hard. This should be a good little opening victory for me right over here. I do need to wait for my vassals to show up, though ideally they will be able to provide some extra firepower. Also, where exactly did the Zelvins go? Because I'd like to know where they are. Now, are you still planning to walk into this? Yes, they are planning to walk into this. They're all going to be together, and hello, we've got new stuff here. Stuff we haven't seen before. So they're capital-class ships. Brood Mothers. So these guys are using Swarm Strikers. Hangars. Okay, so we need point defense or fighters. Now, we've brought plenty of point defense. We should be very well set up to actually handle these guys. So, in come the Spawn Mothers. They're all going to warp together, I assume. Yeah, little guys up front. Heavier hitters at the back. In they flippin' come, and we should be able to handle this. We should have this. Prepare. Alright, everybody ready? And by the way, planet build speeds up. That doesn't help me very much. And wait for it. Wait for it. Wait until you see them. And in comes the plasma. Yeah, okay, I think we got this. There's the artillery. Let's get the view from the rear here. The battleships are spreading out. There's a lot of firepower being put over there. How much damage are we actually taking? We're okay. The artillery is doing a good job. There's that perdition beam. And there we go. Yeah, the plasma fleets appear to actually have this. They've got the number of the Scourge. Everything seems to be under control there. Oh, flipping marvellous. Absolutely flipping marvellous. There's more coming. That's 100,000. There's another 300,000. Okay, there's... Hang on, how much is there in one go here? I think they've got about 600,000 in total on the field at the minute. Maybe a tiny bit less. I found the Zelvins, by the way. They retreated and have since decided they can't be bothered. Oh, we got more coming in from the side, though. And, oh dear, hang on. This is a less good angle of approach, actually. Last Plasma has been caught at the front, which I don't really want. We can do a lot of damage to these guys, but there's no point defense up front right now. There's even more flipping coming in right there. My mercenary admirals. You know what? We got this. This is fine. There was enough firepower there just to shoot them the hell down. Good work, guys. I think we've got them pretty well quarantined for the moment while we get the repairs done, that we might be able to just straight up walk in at this point. Though I will admit I would prefer it if my own friends could actually do it for me. I kind of want my vassals and the Zelvins and the Federation to be involved with this fight, damn it. Oh, they're sending more straight at me, though. At this point, they are angry, and they are just basically... Yeah, they're throwing another 2 fleets directly into this. But these plasma fleets, they should be able to handle this by themselves. There's the artillery at the rear. These fleets are specifically designed to be able to cut through armor and hull. Oh, look at that. Perdition beam right to the flipping head. And that thing just drops dead. Dear oh flipping dear. Curls up, not having a good day, and then flipping disappears. In fact, actually, you guys have dropped something. Hello, Swarm Strikers and Large Scourge Missiles. Ooh, la-di-da, tech. Oh, meanwhile, over at the Valdari capital, there does seem to be a landing going on right now. How good are these guys? Oh dear. They're not actually very good. The Prethran invaders are just, yeah, 4 to 8 or thereabouts in terms of damage. Not spectacular. In fact, actually, is it possible? No, they won't actually be rebuffed, but they'll take some very significant losses trying to take this world. I'm just kind of curious what's actually about to happen here. I'm happy to just actually leave this one be. See what actually happens if they take a planet, because, I mean, what do they do with it? Presumably they don't occupy it. The Unbidden, if I recall correctly, they kind of, like, just leave it devastated. Everyone just sort of disappears. It's left as a weird, dead world. So, they will win. They will win, but this is not great. If they try and occupy it, yeah, my forces should be able to easily take it back. Oh, and better, the Zelvans have actually come around. Well done, lads. I think they've realised that, yeah, we've got bigger problems to deal with right now. Right, down goes the last defensive army, and what happens now precisely? So, yeah, they've taken the planet, and that is now occupied by the Scourge, and oh dear. I feel like everything just became, yeah, everyone is rapidly becoming an undesirable. They're being, oh, I think there might be an element of being eaten going on right now. Yes, they've decided that everyone is an undesirable, so there's a lot of purging. There's an awful lot of purging. Possibly feasting might be the right word, actually. Though, actually, there are robots, so I'm not sure how tasty those are. Oh, the Zelvans are back, though. The Zelvans have returned. Okay, the Zelvans are... Hello. The Zenat Continuity want something. And they want me to colonize Maya 1. I don't know where that is. Where's Maya 1? Yes, I'll say yes, but honestly, I'm a bit busy at the minute. So, the Zelvans are back. They've sent about, what is that, like 70, 80, 90,000 strength. So they'll easily be able to knock down this outpost right here. Marvellous. And the flipping Valdari are fighting back as well. Beautiful. They're actually coming for some revenge here. Yep, the Zelvans have officially killed everything that's around here. And I think the Valdari might actually get the killing blow here. I think the Crisis has actually already run out of steam. Because all they've actually got left at this point, as far as I can tell, is this one world that they're currently purging. But, yeah, at this point, they've got an army out in space. The Valdari are just basically taking out their constructor ships right now. So if you guys now just head south over here, yep, these are the forces that just actually ate your planet. And now you can just basically knock them down. There's their little kind of platform or whatever. Their armies go down as well. I don't know what they've got left at this point. I think the Valdari are about to beat the Crisis. Okay, well that would certainly be a turn up for the books. Screw it, we might have a chance to actually save the Valdari here. I'm deploying my armies to take the planet back. That's the last of the Scourge armies anyway. That's all they had in space. Okay, that's... Well, that's interesting. The flippin' Valdari, the first to be hit, have not only survived, they've just won. So I really hope they get the credit, because they were technically the ones that won, yes. And all the remains of the Prethran Sword's colossal swarms are innumerable charred husks. I'm going to be honest, they weren't really innumerable. They had about maybe 600,000 strength total, which was actually weirdly underwhelming, because at one point the Awakened Ascendances had more than that. I swear they were fielding about 700 to 800,000 during the War in Heaven. And this, by the way, is with Crisis strength turned up 75%. It was supposed to be like half the strength of that. So yeah, that's definitely less than I was expecting to show up. I was expecting when I doubled the Crisis strength that it was going to be a lot flipping more than that. Lesson learned, next time I need to whack it up even flipping more, apparently. But I will say, I was happy with the way that ended there, which is, it wasn't just me going in and smashing everything. The Zelvans, they showed up. They helped. They knocked out some of the starbasers. And the Valdari, they didn't just die. They didn't just sit back and take it. They fought back, damn it. They took Brink back. They moved back to their capital. They took out the armies that destroyed them. And by the way, you guys okay now? Yes, everyone is okay. That's just flippin' marvellous. Some people may have been eaten, but honestly, not that many, all things considered. And I think I know what we need to do now, of course. We need to all go to repose, just chill out at the executive retreat, and pet Tabby for a bit. Because I think we have deserved it. And that, I suppose, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of Stellaris MegaCorp, for now at least, but I love Stellaris. They're constantly changing it, they're constantly adding new stuff, really exciting new stuff down the line. I'd love to see more in the way of subterfuge, which it feels that MegaCorp and its branch offices is kind of like, you know, the first step towards, so that's all very, very interesting indeed. Plus, I like how it's now quite viable to play tall, because bear in mind, this green over here and a tiny bit up here, that was my entire core empire. Everyone else was a giant pile of vassals in yellow, and at the time, the light minty green, they were once a federation I was part of. I just decided that wasn't really my cup of tea, to be honest. But yeah, interesting. Interesting stuff here. I'll say, I think the reason I've had a pretty easy crisis at the end there is probably just because I've been able to snowball a little bit during the game, just because the AI is struggling with 2.2 a bit. I know Paradox are working on that to improve that, but yeah, it was actually a little bit too easy for me to snowball into a dominant position in the galaxy. So, lesson learned, next time I play Stellaris, I will be whacking every difficulty slider, like, very, very far up, alright? No more Mr. Nice game. Next time we play this, it's gonna be something bloody extreme, alright? And the Almeta Syndicate has certainly been on one hell of a journey during this playthrough, ladies and gentlemen, as we get back to our home through the gateway we constructed and pass by Asprania, which these days is actually a tomb world because we sort of accidentally blew it up at the same time as we turned our sun into a black hole. A black hole which the galactic market just kind of orbits somehow. Doesn't make a huge amount of sense, but it does. And we've got a flippin' giant science nexus. A science nexus that appears to be, yeah, probably about 2 or 3 times bigger by volume than our entire flipping planet. Which is quite good. I like that. Probably in Stellaris you're not supposed to try and, you know, directly compare things because, yeah, the size of stars doesn't make any bloody sense in this game whatsoever. And then all sorts of other tomb worlds we decided to actually settle on to. Oh, lovely. Just absolutely flippin' lovely right here. I love Stellaris, it's wonderful. But yeah, lesson learnt, the AI is struggling a bit with 2.2. Whack up that difficulty next time. But still, it's lovely to just have everyone around, to have the Pax Romana and the Tenets of Tabby and the Infinite Pond. Not only did they all survive to the end, they all joined up together, and for a brief wonderful moment, we were all in the same federation too. So I'll leave things off there, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, we will be having something cool and strategy and grand strategy-ish continuing on the Thursday and Sunday slots. I've got a few things in mind it might be, so I don't know for certain exactly what you're going to be seeing that's starting new very, very soon indeed, because originally I thought this series was going to end at just the perfect time for Total War 3 Kingdoms to come out, but they've just pushed that back a few months. So, yeah, there's a nice open slot for something else to fill that gap. So I'll have a very careful think about what that should be, and hopefully you join me for that. But don't worry, I'm sure Stellaris will not be staying away for too long, because I absolutely flippin' love this game. It will be back at some point, and next time I suspect I might just decide to do a bit of a challenge and whack literally every difficulty slider to the extreme. Try and create a basically impossible, unwinnable game of Stellaris, and just see how I do, because that just sounds flipping fun. Hopefully, you join me for that when it happens, ladies and gentlemen, and join me in general, because we'll have something else fun starting next week. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been many a true nerd, and this has been Stellaris MegaCorp. Thank you very much, and goodbye. This is the face of death, okay? This is what my sudden death looks like. Do not engage before we arrive. Do not engage. What are you doing? I specifically said don't. Oh, no.
No, John.
Oh, he likes that. The Romans touched me.